All right, cool. Let's get this shit popping. Frank, is you ready? Well, all right then.
Yeah,
I don't know where you went, Frank. I don't know where you went, dog.
I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, dog. All right, did I tweet this shit out? I don't know if I tweeted this shit out. Oh, I did tweet this shit out. All right. So, whoever's watching, welcome. Whoever's watching, I'm gonna be going over my tier list. I'm sure, as you can see right here on stream, this is my Seattle Marvel 2 tier list. I'm gonna be breaking down like the criteria behind this shit, the thought process behind this shit, why I have people listed where I have them listed, and I got my main man Frank on the ones and twos. Say something to stream world, Frank.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in the building. FCRacers here. Move my mic over so you can catch my voice and catch his hands.
Yeah.
I'm ecstatic and excited for this.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Hopefully we ruffle some feathers.
The streets have been waiting.
And make people play some Marvel, you know what I mean? Since this seems to be the Marvel Renaissance revival, you know what I mean? And I know you hear that music in the background.
Oh yeah, you have the list already up here too? Hold on.
Hell yeah, check this shit out.
Spoiler alert, I thought you were gonna just be like, drums, please.
Oh no. I had to type this shit out, man. I had it on my phone for like weeks. You know what I'm saying? So let me know when you see this shit, Frank. I'll break this shit down. And of course I will upload this on YouTube as well. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I see it right here. I'm looking right
for people who miss this thing, you know what I mean?
I got your list. See, I thought you were gonna put this up in like tier maker.
Oh yeah, I would have tried that if I had pictures of everybody. But you know, I ain't got pictures of like, you know, Dollwolf or, you know, people like that, you know.
Yeah, you can just put the name in.
But you know, I mean, maybe I could do it like that too, you know.
Can't be that hard to whip up.
But you know, starting out with this, right? The criteria is like, you had to have been an active tournament player within one of the 3 following eras, right? So if you were from Seattle back then, you knew that we kind of migrated amongst a number of different places, like over time, right? And so starting out, everything started at Silvercoin, right? Like that's the mecca for Seattle Marvel. So it started there. Then we went to Gametown. So that's its own separate era for me, right? So 2000 to 2003, and let me check something here real quick. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, Silvercoin from the year 2000 to 2003. That's one era. LanWerx, we were there from like 2003 to 2005, so that's its own era. Then it's Zach's house, Prepopolis. You know, shout out to my man Preppy, Zach DMS. So we played at his house from like 2006 to 2009. So you had to have been an active tournament player during one of those eras. And by active tournament player, I mean like you were entering tournaments, plural. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I went to a tournament and I placed like 12 and then I stopped going, or I just went and I watched and I played like
it ain't no
casuals. Like, no, you had to be in this thing, you know what I mean, to make this list. And I'm pretty sure that I probably missed some people, but for one, I kept it to Seattle only for one. But number two, what was my point gonna be? Yeah, so I kept it to Seattle only. So no, like, you know, no Portland, no BC, no Kennewick, no Olympia, no Eugene, Oregon. Strictly Seattle. And you know, you had to have been an active player during one of those 3 eras, and that was really like what crafted this list. And for the God tier level, that is in order. Everything else, all the other tiers, that's not in order. So like the strong tier, the solid tier, the trace tier, none of those are in order. This is literally like for those players, you know, that's as I thought about them. You know what I mean? And it was just based off of memory and SureYouCan.com tournament results threads, which were actually, there were quite a number of them that I was able to find. I found like anywhere from like 10 to 15 different tournament results threads that I was able to use as reference to make this list. And there was a lot of them that got deleted due to like their vulnerability issues that they had. But yeah, you got any thoughts on that so far, Frank?
No, man, I think that's a legit ass thing. I like the criteria that you.
Yeah, I had, you know, I really put a lot of thought into that too, and And one thing I want to establish as well is, to me, the trace tier is the only low tier. Like, and that's just a joke tier. That's not like a real player tier, right? That's like a lot of Seattle arcade scrub inside joke type shit in that tier. But from God tier to solid tier, these are all good players, in my opinion. Like, nobody on this list is weak. So even though solid tier would be considered like low tier, to me that's like B tier, right? Where God tier is S, strong tier is A. So nobody's weak on this list. So I just want to get that out the way before anyone starts, you know, set tripping and shit like that. And again, none of these are in order. And actually, let me go ahead and fix that real quick, so that people know what time it is. All right, cool. So starting out, God tier, of course, I have this in order. And to me, Ro has to be number 1, like easily. He was the strongest player we've ever had. In my opinion, probably ever. In Seattle fighting game history, he's the best player that we've ever had. Like, in terms of just sheer ability, in terms of just sheer... he was just in control, man. And like, I know like Frank can attest to this too. Ro was so good that he would get bored playing you. And he would get so bored playing you that he would just let you come back. Like, he would make it a match before he finally just said, all right, it's time for you to lose. And then you would just lose. And the only person at Ro's height of his power that could stop him was Justin Wong. That was the only person that could beat Ro back then. Like, when he was at the tippy top, like, literally only Justin Wong could beat him. So to me, it's like,
that's true.
He was also the one that dethroned Rat when Rat was at the height of his power. Because Rat went undefeated for like, fucking what?
He went 13? Like 2 years, right?
It was almost 2 years, yeah. I would say maybe slightly before B5, which was what, summer of 2001. So I think from the time Marvel 2 released, all the way up until probably right before B5 was when Ro really emerged as that motherfucker, you know what I mean? So, I mean, he has a team named after him, which is, honestly, to me, that's an illustrious honor in Marvel 2. To have a team named after you, that means you are sick at the game. That means you are filthy at the game if you have a team named after you. So, again, you know, he had a team named after him and shit. So, and of course, I mean, to me, in 2002, I mean, aside from Justin, he was the best player in the world. And so, I mean, again, he has to be number 1 on this list as far as Seattle's concerned.
Let me jump in and ask you this real quick, because just to give a little history to y'all that are out watching.
Yeah.
So at EVO 2002, there was this, like, you know, they had like CBS 2, Third Strike, Super Turbo, like all these tournaments, right? They also had an exhibition, a 5-on-5 like battle royale kind of shit between US and Japan that covered hella games. And unfortunately, it into the all the time in finals. And so what happened was when we got to finals for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, like grand finals, they changed it on the fly and they made it a best of 1. And so Ro wins the first set to reset the bracket, and then Justin wins the next one, and then that was game set match. Now I'm gonna ask you, if you feel that was a normal set with 2 out of 3, do you feel that the results would have been different?
You know, it's funny you ask me that, because to me, in my book, Ro's the best player ever, right? In Marvel 2. Like, in my book, he's the best I've ever seen. I don't know if he would have won if it was a proper set. Even though he had like a specific game plan for Justin to counter, based off of, you know, what happened when they played at ECC like months prior. But I don't know if I could say for certain if he would have beaten Justin if it was a proper set. Like, if it was like 3 out of 5 coming from losers type set, I don't know if he would have done it.
I think the sets back weren't the sets back then 4 out of 7.
I think you're right though. I think you're right.
Yeah. So
yeah. I don't know if he would have beat Justin then. I do believe that he would not have beaten Justin in EVO 2003 if he beat Ricky. I don't think he would have beat Justin then. I think the gap got too wide at that point.
Wide.
Yeah, but in 2002, I think Ro had the best chance he ever had, which I think was still a pretty good chance to beat Justin then. But coming from losers, it would have been like super difficult.
Yeah.
And you know the thing too about it, thinking back to Evo 2002, that was kind of messed up in retrospect. Was they had the 4 different pools, right? Justin got knocked into losers that Evo by Combo Fiend, but when he made top 8, they reset it, so he wasn't in losers.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. No, that's right.
He wasn't in losers anymore after he lost. So that changed things too, because Ro just won straight through winners, whereas Justin got knocked into losers and then he had to claw his way out. Well, like I think he beat like Viscant and a couple other people to make it out of his pool, but like he definitely got knocked into losers, and that changed like when top 8 happened. So there was that.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think that Ro probably would have still took the first set, but I think at that point, I feel like Justin would have had his card at least 1 or 2 games into the last set, and I don't know if Ro would have been able to turn it around. And that's no disrespect, but like, I don't think that Justin's like way too good. I mean,
yeah, he was way too good back then. Like way too good.
He was way too good. He was really good to adapt and everything, and like Ro played many teams. But I feel that if he tried to play Ro against him, that wasn't gonna work. Cause he's playing Storm. It was a Storm. It's Team Ayumi, Storm Sentinel Commando, right?
Oh, he was playing. He played Santhrax against Justin at Evo 2002. Yeah, and then Justin. Was when Justin revealed Matrix. To my knowledge, that was the first time he picked that team. Really? Was Evo 2002. Storm Sentinel Cyclops. So I think there was that too.
Oh yeah, because it was Cable. Magneto Cable and another.
He used to pick Mag Cable. Well, he wasn't picking Mag Cable Cammy then, but I think what it was everybody was expecting Storm Sentinel Cammy when he played Ro that time, right? But then he picked Cyclops, and Cyclops is a super good pick against Sentinel Rocket Punch, obviously.
Oh yeah, because he reached out and touched someone.
Yeah, he just had really good, like a really strong runaway game plan. But yeah, to bring it back, yeah, like Ro obviously has to be number 1, right? And for number 2, I go back and forth on this one too, because I feel like Quan and Jason are kind of, I don't know, it's a slight edge, man. I feel like you could put either Jamar second or Quan second, but I think ultimately I put Quan second because he plays 4th at Evo, so he plays 4th at Evo 2003. And that kind of changed history too, right? Because if Ro lets Quan win, I think Quan doesn't lose to Ricky Ortiz. Like I think Quan scrapes Ricky Ortiz, right? But then I think Quan would lose to Justin at 2003. But Quan was so good, and the thing is like starting out he wasn't very good at all. Like he used to play not Storm Sentinel. He used to play Strider Doom. He used to play Strider Doom Commando when he first started entering tournaments in Seattle. And then I remember Jason made him look crazy at one tournament in particular at Silvercoin, and then Quan kind of like went underground a little bit, came back with Team Scrub, and then you know what that was like, right? Like he.
Oh no, I know.
He was that motherfucker for like a long while, right? Like when he really picked up Sentinel, yeah. And so like, I felt like him and Jason were definitely like Ro's best rivals or competition up here, especially as time went on. But Quan, I think, in my estimation, probably is like. Yeah, I think he probably edges Jamar for number 2 to me. Probably it is hella close between those two. I think they're neck and neck. Honestly, it was like a triangle, right? Oh shit! Thank you for the host. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna stream out. You know what? I'm gonna just try to bring him in.
Yeah, it's like I feel like there was a bit. Well, they were all extremely competitive amongst those 3, but. I feel like I would edge Quan over Jamar. It's hard, man. I can see it going either way, but for my list, I got Quan second.
I'm gonna back you on that, and I'm gonna put it like this, because Quan and Jamar played at different eras of Marvel. You had Quan coming in 2002, 2003, maybe 2004, but not really, I don't know if he went to Evo or not that year.
Quan went to Evo 2002. He went 2002 and 2003.
Yeah. Because he beat that one dude's ass on stage in 2002. Just Molly whopped the shit out of him. I remember that.
Dang, what was Dosric's brother's name? The guy that played Sentinel Wolverine and he did the unblockable. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He had the Wolverine slide with Sentinel Stomp. I forgot his name. But I remember Quan beat him at 2002.
Yeah.
And I think Quan lost to Sin in 2002, if I remember correctly.
That sounds about right too.
Yeah, and then Sin, you know, obviously he placed top 5 at Evo that year. But yeah, Quan, yeah, damn. And that's the thing too, like, between the top 4 on my God tier list, they all made top 8 at Evo. Like, all of them did. So that's the other thing too. Besides just being the best up here, they all placed top 8 at Evo. So that was like a really big thing for me, at least as far as my list went.
I'm also put this out here too. When Quan was on the top of his game, he had the best motherfucking Sentinel on the planet. I don't give a damn what anybody says.
Yeah, Quan's Sentinel was crazy. I mean, and even so, like, I had never beat him in a tournament set. I beat him matches, but like, man, his Sentinel was too good.
I think I've gotten him down to his Sentinel, and he just came back and whooped my ass, and I was like, well.
And the other thing too about Quan is he had, like, I guess you could argue he had the best match of Evo 2003 top 8 when he beat Sumighty. And especially because Sumighty had just came off of beating Justin like super bad in the East Coast West Coast 5-on-5, and so everybody and their mama was rooting for Jason. I mean, it was rooting for Sue, right? Oh, shoot, Hunter Heavy with the host. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, you know, everybody wanted Sue to like win the tournament or to at least play Justin again, right? And here's Quan, and he just derails all of that. And who's cheering at the top of their lungs? All of us. We were the only ones in that entire
we were the only ones
exhibition hall rooting for Quan. Yeah. And
because I remember Sue gets Quan in it, I think the Magneto Infinite or something like that. And then we're just, you know, it's quiet. And you hear a couple, and all this other stuff. Then the homeboy, SLA, he gonna yell out, fuck up! And then he messed up!
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny as hell. And I feel like you could only hear that from like our recording of the match. Like, cause you know, if you watch like, you know, the Evo DVD version of it, you're just gonna see like the direct feed of it, right? You're probably not gonna hear like us yelling in the background, like
they have a crowd in the background.
Shit,
you can kind of hear it.
But yeah, Rick yelled like SLA yelling like "fuck up" like that, and he actually dropped it. I was like, oh shit, Quan's gonna win now, like, cause he needed that at that moment.
Yeah, he absolutely needed that. And also, I think too, it's like if Quan got you in the corner with Sentinel, he would just, oh my god, it is some fucking Riverdance shit.
You know what?
I remember.
Oh, go ahead.
I remember actually at Rick's house when we were playing Marvel there, and I saw him and Ratana playing, and I'm kid you not, you know, I might have had a little bit of alcohol in me at the time still, but you know, I felt like Quan put Rat in the corner, and he put him in the corner for a good whole minute. Rat just spent the whole time blocking, and Quan was just bap, calling out for commando, bap, just going in, coming down, throwing out Hyper Sentinel Force, keeping stuff there, and I was just like in awe. It was, I called it poetry in motion, and I still call it that.
You know what's funny is in Evo 2003, Quan and I were in the same pool, and the other thing about that is Duck Doe was in that pool too, and I remember Quan and Duck played each other in probably like the second or third round of that pool. But all I remember of that match was Spiral just super jumping up and down in the corner, just getting stomped by Sentinel. And that was literally the whole match I remember. Like, match 1 and match 2 were both like that. And that's also the same tournament where, Evo 2003, mind you, Quan had gotten beat hella bad by Mix-Up. So bad that's what made him pick Storm against Sue. Because I think he thought like that was going to happen again. And it actually ended up, you know, helping him evolve as a player. Because, like, you know, he was using Team Scrub for so long, and then that tournament made him pick Storm. And then because of that, he just started playing, you know, even better and better from there. But yeah, Quan is my number 2 on my list. And then, you know, of course, Jason's like, you know, Quan's 2, then Jason has to be 2B, right? Like, he's like right there. And of course, like when Jason played back in Silvercoin for like a little bit. And then, you know, he dropped off for a while until about, what, 2005, 2006? And then that's when I think he had maybe like 2 or 3 sessions at Cody's apartment. And then from there, he just started spazzing. Like, that was when Mr. Impossible first arrived. Where he was coming back on everybody with Sentinel, like solo Sentinel. And
we're not talking like cable teams, we're talking like MSP, We're talking like Storm.
Yeah, he was coming back against everybody with that team, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because like MSS should lose to every other Magneto Storm team. Like it should lose to Psylocke, it should lose to Cyclops, it should lose to Tron. But Jason was beating all those teams because that's just how good he was. And I kind of think at the time, like for that brief period of time where him and Zach were traveling everywhere, that like Jason might have honestly been like second best in the world for a period of time, for like that very quick 3-4 month span, like because he was.
I'm agreeing with you.
He's beating hella people.
And it was hella big names and people that were like just going strong. And who was it? Was it him versus Mix Up, where Sentinel was basically at chip damage, like literal chip damage, and he still managed to come back and win that? And I'm like,
yeah, it was off of I think it was like a Sentinel tag, or it might have been a Storm tag, but basically it was like Storm got killed, and then Magneto and Psylocke got unblockable.
Yep, yeah, and that was it. Just boom.
Yeah, he had like some pretty ridiculous comebacks, man. And then of course like the match he had with Ro that I just showed before, like I showed my tier list, is like I think that's one of the most classic Marvel matches ever. Like their ECC match, where like Jason just runs out of time after he unblockables Ro. Like that was like just crazy. Like I still watch that shit now and just still in awe just of how good that match was. But like Jason was like yeah, him and Ro and Quan always were just kind of exchanging like tournament wins and stuff like that. But I feel like if Jason had more time, like I feel like he could have really like capitalized on like how good he was at Marvel, because he placed top 8 at Evo 2006, but then he played Duck Doe and Losers, and he ended up getting spiraled, and I don't think he ever got the rematch either. And I'm pretty sure actually from reading like up on the tournament results that I was looking through, that none of us, basically barely any of us, went to Evo 2007. So it wasn't even like he got the run back. I think I know those guys went to like season beatings and stuff like that, but I don't know if Duck went to those. But yeah, from there, yeah, Jason's definitely my third. Probably 2B more than actually third place. But of course, following him I have Rat, who's basically, the first Hokage of Seattle Marvel period. I guess you could even say he's the first Hokage of Seattle Capcom period. Like it is not an exaggeration when I say like if Rat didn't run tournaments when Marvel 2 first came out, we probably don't have shit, at least in terms of Marvel, Street Fighter, whatever. Like he was literally the dude.
He was our community manager.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, he was our mark. He was our mark man.
Yeah, and he brought us all together, and he just so happened to be the best player, and he just so happened to teach like nearly everybody how to like improve and be good at the game. Like I know I could say that he did that for me. I could say he did that for Ro, Quan, Cody.
He did it for me too.
Yeah, he did it for everybody. Like if he played, if he spent time playing you, you definitely improved. I can say to this day, I'd say him and SLA are the two best teachers that I've ever had in fighting games, period. Yep. They will get you in shape. Like, period.
Let me hit you.
And Rat kind of like in the background, when Ro, Scott, and Cody and all those guys really emerged and they were like the best, Rat kind of took a back seat. And even though he still competed and he still placed like top 4 and everything like that, he was more of like a I guess I could say he was kind of he became more of like a little bit of a coaching figure. Like he would just help other people get better, which in turn strengthened the scene. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So he's definitely top 5 dead or alive. I'll put it that way. When it comes to Seattle Marvel period, like we don't have shit without Ratana, obviously. So I'll always give it up. Even though out of everybody I think on this list I hated losing to him the most. Him and Cody were the two I think I hated losing to the most, because goddamn, I didn't that shit felt bad.
Yeah, you just like Cody was the only one to ever perfect me in Marvel 2.
Was he really?
Yeah, it was at his house, and
J-Mark perfected me at where were we? It might have been Cody's apartment.
It probably was. I know that was the. I just put my hands away from the mod stick. I got up and I stepped outside and had a cigarette because I was like, He literally, I guessed wrong on every single mix-up. And then Cody being Cody, he was just popping off. Perfect. You know, just doing all that. And I was like, I can't believe this happened. Because I was going on, because I saw people getting perfect. There's no way in hell I'm ever getting perfect in this motherfucking game. Because I will mash a fucking scimitar to save my life. Nope. So I just walked out.
Man, Cody was so talented. I think Cody's thing was that he just didn't have the Evo performances to match how good he was.
Yeah.
Because you would always see him on like the DVDs losing to somebody, right? Like, for example, the B5 DVD, Cody is featured on there losing to Duck Doe. And it was like Spyro Cable Sentinel versus like Doomstorm Cable, I think is what the matchup was. And for maybe like the first 50-60 seconds of that match, Cody's playing super good. And then he messes up. And then it's like, yo, damn, son, come on now. And then Evo 2002, he's featured on the DVD losing the Flow. And it was like, I think it was like MSS with drones versus Storm Sentinel Cable. But, you know, he ended up losing that match too. So it's like, I don't think he was featured on 2003, but like, he was super duper good. And I just think he just had like big stage nerves is what his problem was. But aside from that, he was just amazingly talented. And as the story goes, I don't know if there's any SoCal people lurking this thread, but as I was told, David Lee got Storm Sentinel Cable from Cody when Roe went down there to play those guys. So that's what I was told. And I know Cody was definitely like one of the Storm pioneers, especially when you look at the Seattle Marvel combo video, you know, with like the triangle jump infinites and shit.
You know,
that was Cody. And he has the gnarliest fingers I've ever seen in my life in terms of just bone structure. So of course his execution was just off the motherfucking charts. And he was super good. And I think he's actually the first person I met aside from you in terms like the scene, I think. So I want to take he was definitely up there. Like when him, Roe, and Scott linked up, it was just like, yeah, that shit was amazing.
I want to take a moment to reflect back on Ratana real quick about the coaching. I got a really good example too. So there was the homeboy Paris, right? And you know, Paris is absolute Tekken master, really good, solid player, right? I mean, he would joke about Marvel being like, play a romance game, play Tekken, yada, right? Tekken Tag Tournament started dying down, and so then he started switching over to Marvel, and like Paris was, you know, this is no disrespect because it gets better when I continue with this story. At the time when he was trying to get into it, he was free, like playing. So he's playing Spiral, he's trying to do all this shit. He was free. Like we would play sets, and it's like 10-1, 10-2, 10-0, stuff like that, you know. And like, because he at the time he was working at an arcade, so like when we would go kick it, we would converge at the arcade, run it first to 10, you know, stomp them out, and then we go to Gametown, and we go kick it up there and hang out, right? So this happens like 3 weeks in a row. Like I'm like 10-1, 10-2, 10-1, right? I go the next week, he playing a whole different team. I'm like, okay, so you playing Magneto now? All right, well, you know, you just pulled this out of your ass, so this is gonna be the same as it ever was. Bro, he fucking 10-0'd me. And do you know why he 10-0'd me? I was like, hold on. Come crazy like that, what happened? He was like, oh, I've been playing Ratana all week.
Yeah, it was like overnight.
Yeah, I was like, you tell me, you did a 5-day, 6-night session with Ratana, and then you just flipped the script on me like that. That just showed how powerful of like a coach that Ratana was.
So, absolutely.
I just want to throw that out there, and also shout out to Paris too. I love you, man.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, that's what Rat did for like a lot of players like in the scene. Like, yeah, and again, I could say that I'm definitely a testament to that. Like, I had maybe like 2 or 3 different like sessions against Rat, and one thing that he used to do that no one else did is the day before the tournament, we had our tournaments like every Saturday at noon, right? Or like, you know, our monthlies were at Saturdays at Silvercoin at noon. Rat would stay up the whole night before, just playing and practicing before the tournament. And so I know that one of those sessions I had against Rat, we were playing for like hours before the tournament, right? So I show up, and you know, I've probably only won like 10 matches out of like 60, 70 matches, right? So I'm just, my morale is low. I kept losing, you know what I mean? I am at this tournament, right? Like, I ain't gonna do that good. But here I am, I'm fucking people up at the same time, right? Because I played Rat all night. So now I'm at this tournament, and I play Rat, and he's the only person, well, I lost to Rat, and I think, like, Ro in that tournament. But, like, it just goes to show, like, he had such a good teaching style, and he was so strong at the game as well, that it was just the perfect recipe for helping other people improve. And he did that for so many different people. I know I can say that for me, for you, for Quan, for, Cody. Everybody he played with, Sean, like, everybody he spent time with got super good at the game. Like, or at least really solid at the game. And he knew that that's what you needed in order for the scene to flourish and to grow and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And then you look at it with the modern era too, right? With like Kyle P and stuff. Like, he did that for like hella people.
Yeah, and one of the cool things that Rat would do is like Rat had a lot of knowledge about the game itself. Mm-hmm. So like if he's playing his main team against you and he's just like stomping you out, OCVs left and right, you ain't even getting to the second character, this, that, and the other. He actually will change teams on you.
Yeah, he would pick weaker teams.
Yeah, he would pick quote unquote weaker teams, and I was like, why do you keep not playing your main team against me? He's like, because I'm beating your ass. So you got to work your way back up. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you got to start beating these other teams because you're never going to beat this team. And that made me hella mad.
It was kind of like, it was almost like a backhanded compliment, but at the same time, it was kind of like, he was letting you know that it wasn't based off of no ego shit, right? He was basically like, look, playing you with my best team isn't helping you and it isn't helping me. So I have to pick these weaker teams because this is where your level is at. So that's how he would explain it. And then if you started beating that team, he'd pick his real team, and then you couldn't beat that team. So then you were back to square one, like his weaker teams and stuff.
He would find like a good balance to where you would be at, and then and then he would make you think. He would make you think on what you need to do.
Exactly. Exactly. And so he, he's definitely top 5. Cody's top 5 to me as well. I think he edges out Scott just because he was around longer. Scott was super buff because he was like, well, first off, he's a Tekken kid. Let's put that out there first. So he was a Tekken kid that got into Marvel, was super dope at Marvel, and on top of that, he played a different version of Ro's team. So he played Team Ro with drones, but he really, I think he was the best person that used that version of the team, honestly.
Didn't he also knocked Justin into losers?
Yeah, I think he might be the only person in all of history that has a winning record against Justin in a Marvel 2 tournament. And that was at ECC 5, I think it was, when all those guys went to New York to play Justin. He was the only one that beat Justin. Tong, actually, who is the last member of my God tier, he actually had Justin beat, and he did a ground super with Cable. So, he altered history, missing that. But, those two played that version of the team. They played Mad Cable Drones. And, to go into Tong for a little bit, Tong was like, I'd say he was the most notable of Ratana's students, right? That he helped get better. But Tong's thing was like, he was never motivated. But when he was motivated, he would always place in the money. So it would be kind of like rare to see him at a tournament. Because he would show up and be like, oh, I feel like playing Marvel. And then he placed like 3rd or something. Or 2nd. And like the only person that could beat him would be like Ro or Quan or something like that, right? So when he was motivated, he was great. And if he wasn't really that motivated, then like people in my tier could like get at him. But when he was on his shit, like couldn't nobody mess with him. Like only the best of the best in the area could beat him if he was on his shit. And Tong also, I think he suffered from the same thing Cody had, in that he had like big stage nerves. Like if he was an Evo, well, Tong never went to Evo actually, but he went to B5. I'm sorry, he went to B5. He went to B5, and I don't think he went to any other Evo events. He went to ECC that one year that everybody went, and I know he went to SHGL once. But locally, when he played, he was like nigh unstoppable. But other than that, like he definitely had like big stage nerves, and I think after a while he just stopped playing as much. But he was pretty amazing when he was on his shit, and he probably could have been the best if he kept at it, which is why I have him up there as high as I do. as the final member of the God tier in Seattle.
I think I've lost a tongue in a tournament, and he was just so nonchalant about it, like shit, and it really irked me, because he just like smeared me across the ground, and he was like, I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, no, he had that vibe about him, like it was just kind of like
he was just like whatever.
He's just on about his business, right? And it's like, damn, you don't give a shit that you just
smeared my.
Playing me didn't affect you at all, motherfucker. What kind of shit is this? You know what I mean? Like that's how he was though, and I mean, that's how Tong is. You just don't take offense to it, right? But
yeah. I was like, you go beat my ass and you just gonna leave the tournament because you got bored?
He would do that. He would do that. He would he would do the same shit Rat would do, right? Like stay up all night the night before a tournament. Wake up like, he would go to sleep for like a couple hours, wake up, smoke a bowl, come to the tournament, like flame out or something like that, right? Maybe do like, oh, I went out in 3, right? And then, whoever beats Tong's hyped. Oh yeah, I beat Tong. Yeah, blah blah blah. That shit was crazy. And then the next tournament, he would show up prepared and be on his shit and just place top 4, just like that.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He was mainly around during the Silver Coin Gametown era. Same like Scott. Yeah. Him and Scott were only around during that era.
They drifted off after that.
Yeah, Jamar was around for the beginning of Silver Coin Gametown, right? Didn't come back till LanWerx. Roquan, Rat, Cody, they were around from Silver Coin on.
Yeah, they were there for like almost the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. And Cody was here all the way up until like right before Zax. Or like, a little bit into Zax. He was here.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's my God tier. So these are the people who were the best of the best, and they were consistently the best of the best. So that's why I have them up there. And actually, going into strong tier, I have Trent. Trent is like fringe God tier in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because I feel like he's not as good as everybody in God tier, but he's better than everybody in the strong tier, if that makes sense. Like I feel like
he's like the gatekeeper.
Yeah, that's really what he is. Yeah.
He's the definition of like that echelon between the two.
Yeah, and what's funny is even though I have the strong tier, the only order it's in is that Trent is the top of it.
Yeah.
That's the only order. Everyone else past Trent is not in order. But Trent, to me, he could be his own tier, like right below God tier, but right above strong tier. Because I feel like he's better than all of us, but he definitely wasn't as good as everybody else.
At least for Marvel.
And out of all the times I played Trent in Marvel tournaments, I only beat him in one tournament, and that was, I don't even know what happened when I beat him that time, to be honest. But I've only beaten him once, maybe out of 4 or 5 matches, like matchups. But he was that good, and he was just like so solid. Like, yeah, actually, you worded it correctly. He was the gatekeeper for sure. He was just so strong, so solid. But like everyone else above him could beat him, but we couldn't do it really.
But also the thing too with Trent was like Trent was good at any game that he played.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was like the Taquito of Seattle would probably be the best way to put it. Because like he was a monster at CVS2. If he just picked up a game, he just was like, all right, I'm just gonna start beasting. Like I remember we were playing Street Fighter Street Fighter EX plus Alpha or whatever it was called, right?
Yeah.
And he ain't never played it. He just picked it up and started whooping off on our asses. I'm just like, oh, okay. He had good fundamentals.
Yeah, that's really the best way to word it. He had the best fundamentals, and yeah, he absolutely was really, really good. And I know that he was here all the way up until the end of LanWerx, basically, because then he moved to North Carolina. So he wasn't around during Zach's house era. So he wasn't there when I evolved, because I would have whooped that ass. I'm putting that out here right now. We busted shots on the stream. I don't give a shit. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like he would have got served, but you know what I'm saying. He had to move. But yeah, no, Trent's definitely up there. He's the top of the strong tier, possibly even his own tier or fringe god tier. That's how I have him. Everyone else, excuse me, on the strong tier were players that in any given tournament, these are the players that are making like places 5 through 9th. Like they're not the top 4, but they're all the spots below it. So you'd see a tournament where like Evan and like Mark are tying for 5th, right? Me and Ian are placing 7th, or Drew is placing 5th, tying with Zach. Kyle's placing 4th one tournament. Issaria is up there placing fourth. Like, we were all in the same skill range. And I have John Mar on here because, excuse me, he kind of like teetered off towards the end of the Silvercoin Gametown era, but he was super good too. And I think he could have been God tier if he kept playing, but he just didn't play that much anymore. But yeah, this tier, the tier that I'm in, these are people who they could place top 3 every once in a while. They could like catch fire and place really well. But we weren't consistently of that performance level, right? So it wouldn't happen all the time. It wouldn't happen very often. But I know that a lot of these players also were taking matches off of each other. So it was a really competitive tier. And every once in a while we might take a game or two off of the God tier, but it wasn't very often. Like I know, like for example, I know like I can think of a time off the top of my head where Paris beat Cody. I can think of a time off the top of my head where you know, Zach beat Ro, or like I beat Jamar, or like Issaria beat Quan. You know, I could think of these isolated matches where we were able to beat these players in a set, but it wasn't a consistent thing. So I know, at least up until, speaking for myself solely, up until I'd say the end of the Gametown era going into LanWerx, the highest I had ever placed in a tournament was 4th. And that was like, oh, that was a good night after getting my ass beat for like 4 or 5 months straight, right? So that's how it was for a lot of these players in this tier, right? So when you look at somebody like Zach came in Silvercoin era playing like Silver Samurai, right? You remember that, like when he first showed up, and we were like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. But you know, he was another person that played with Rat, and he started piecing it together, and then he was placing super good after a while, like top 5, top 7 type placing, right?
I noticed that you got 2 people, at least 3 people that aren't on this list, but we'll get to that after the.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just realized we gotta put them in because I gotta give shout outs too.
Oh, okay, well let me know who it is.
I will when we get there. But going back to this strong tier 2, another thing I want to actually like point out too is every person that is in that list on that strong tier, if they traveled out to like an out of state tournament or something like that, they're pulling games from people. Like they might pull an upset on somebody, but like they're definitely like not going 0-2 or something like that. Like they're gonna get like, you know, top 16. They might even get top 8. You never know.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but like they would definitely go down and like they would wreck shop, like plain and simple. Like they could just pull wins, get a win streak on the arcade cabinet. You know, just kind of have people like, what the fuck is this? All of them are capable of that. Yeah,
definitely. And you look at someone like Drew Dub, and Drew Dub, I have him on this list because he did live in Seattle for a brief period of time. If you remember, he lived in the same apartment as Cody did, and I felt like it would be it wouldn't be right if he wasn't on this list. I'll put it that way, because he did enter a number of tournaments in Seattle.
It'd be a disservice. Yeah,
and he was Seattle for a little bit, even though he was truly Portland. He was up here for a while, and he definitely played and added to the scene, so he definitely has to be in this list. But yeah, he was another strong tier player. I remember when Ricky and Justin came up for Loki's tournament, Drew beat Ricky Ortiz in that tournament. Or you have like how Zach beat CJ Showstopper at NCR, right? You got let me think of another one. Was it John Mar? I think it was John Mar who beat Clock at B5. So you had different skill levels like that. Or like I think Mark won a Las Vegas Marvel 2 tournament once over Ruin. So stuff like that, right? Yeah, these players were all very, very solid. And so I think with us being in that tier from like 5th, placing like 5th to like placing like 9th, Seattle was just such a competitive scene in Marvel that it was really hard to even like, it was really difficult to place in tournaments. So to make it to that tier is just like, that's a commendable honor, honestly. Like to be at that tier, that just means that you were really good, you just weren't the best. And I think that's like a really good place for all of these players, right? Like Evan, Mark, Ian, Drew, Paris, Zach, Kyle, Dan, UW Dan came in, at Zach's house, and I think he could have been really good if he traveled. He could have
been really good if he traveled.
He was super good for where he was at, just playing in Seattle, but he didn't travel, so we don't know what he could have done. But he was really good towards the tail end of the game. And Issaria was really good tail end of Silvercoin going into LanWerx.
Issaria was the one that kind of brought in the whole like just mashing that jab button to get
mashing out of resets. Yeah, I didn't do that until I played him for sure. I remember I used to laugh at it until he did it to me, and I was like, man, this shit's stupid. He's just mashing out of everything. He doesn't even know what's happening.
But then I remember he was playing on the big screen of Evo, and this dude tried to mix him up, and every time he mixed him, he mash jab a commando. And he would just get out of it every single time, and that dude was getting super distraught. And then he hugged him with 3.
Yeah, I remember that.
He ended up losing, and he gave him a big hug.
That was one of the best matches of Evo 2003 for me, was watching that. And then
I think out of all the people...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I think out of all the people that are on this list right here, I think I truly, honestly miss Issaria the most. Like, in the sense that, like, all the other people, since our Marvel 2 stint went out, I've always had the chance to run into them again at some point. But honestly, like, after Issaria left and went back to Thailand, is that right?
Yeah, Thailand, yep.
Like, we just lost contact with him, and like,
yeah, I haven't heard from him in years, man. But I hope he's.
I would just love to, just see how he's doing. Just say what's up, have him just be like. He would say that he had some of the best quotes. He
did. Honestly, he did. And I need to add them to my Streamlabs, honestly.
Yes, please do.
Because he definitely had some of the best quotes in Seattle Marvel history, for sure. And he was such a funny character, too, for the period he was around, too. It was short-lived, but, man, he was hilarious for, like, the 2 years that he was around, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Very impactful.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good word for Issaria as well. So I'll leave that for strong tier, right? So solid tier, right? This is where I have you, Frank.
Oh, I see it.
These are players that, maybe they'll place like 7th, or maybe they'll place like 9th or 12th, right? These are people who, on a good day, they're gonna place top 5, but it might not happen that often, right? But like, I look at you as like a prime example of it because, like, like you beat Rat and Nolan in like the Silvercoin Gametown era, right? Which is crazy. Oh shoot, we got Kaleo1784. Barry, thank you for the follow. Thank you very much.
Actually, yeah, hold on real quick before you jump into that, because he did ask a question.
Oh, did he?
Asked who else? Yeah, he had said who else from Oregon was good. He saw Sam B beat people in 2003. Sam B was pretty good.
So Sam B, Drew Dub, before he moved up here. Well, I thought Drew was always pretty good. So there was Theo Crooks. Theo was pretty good. There was Stiltman, of course. Stiltman. Jackson Chen. Jackson was like a really Jackson, I would say, was the Portland version of Ratana.
Yeah, I think Jackson brought Storm up here.
He did, yeah.
Is it him or Trent? I can't remember.
Jackson won the Gametown tournament, didn't he? Or GameWorks tournament, right?
Yeah, I think it was Jackson. He won it with Storm, and that's when like people were picking Storm, but he was actually doing like the runaway stuff.
Yeah, he was playing super good. Yeah. I'd say Jackson will probably be the best. Brian Jang was really good.
Yeah, Brian Jang is pretty good too.
So yeah, he was super good. There was that one dude that Stiltman hyped up hella. I don't know if you remember the name Preston Ing.
Oh no, I don't know who that is.
Oh, he played like Sentinel Commando, but he was pretty solid. I mean, I don't think he played that much, but I think he played like Sentinel Blackheart. Mm-hmm. He was really good. Carl was playing for a little bit.
Black Marvel.
Yeah, he didn't keep at it, but he was playing for a little bit.
Good, yeah.
I think those were the best ones though. Jackson definitely was the one.
I think he was the one.
Yeah, Jackson definitely was the one though.
Also, Barry, to answer your question, Scott Wong is who we're talking about.
Yeah.
For Scott.
Yeah, Scott was super good. Scott was actually known, him and Eddie Boy Main, EBM. Scott and Eddie were known as the Tekken Kids, like way back in the day.
Didn't they play? I know Eddie plays ST, but did Scott play ST also, or is he just playing Tekken?
I think Scott only played. So what I remember of Scott was that he played Tekken Tag and Marvel 1. Those were like the 2 games I remember from Scott. And then of course Marvel 2 came out, and he was like, yeah, he was super good. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't see that, Barry. For some reason my screen is blocked.
Don't worry, I got you.
But yeah, no. So Scott Wong played Team Row, but he played Team Row with drones instead of Rocket Punch. And obviously it's a different team composition, so he had different combos to make up for not having Rocket Punch. But man, he was super good though. He was really good. Scott was one of the only people. Scott might have been the first person to put Justin Wong in Losers in Marvel 2. Like after Justin got super good and he was just the ruler of everything, Scott might have been the only person to put him in Losers.
You might be right during that time. You might be right.
Yeah, I think he was the first one to do it.
This is almost 20 years ago, so age, memory.
Yeah, and the thing about it too is it was Storm Sentinel Cammy versus Mag Cable drones. And the thing about that is, Cammy, if you remember, Frank, Cammy had that issue where like she would bounce off of inanimate objects. So like like Doom rocks, right? She wouldn't kick through it. Yeah. She would either bounce off of it or just get hit. And so because Scott had drones, it was like she was just bouncing off of that shit or getting hit. So it changed like the match. Who's the best Seattle player who doesn't play Sentinel? Probably Zach.
No, doesn't he play Mega Man Sentinel Cable?
No, Zach plays Mega Man Cable Tron. I'd say it's Zach.
Yeah.
It has to be Zach. Actually, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Looking at this list.
Would say, yeah,
it has to be Zach.
If it wasn't Zach, I'd say myself. Put that out there.
You're in the running, yeah, because you play some weird teams.
Yeah, I had Sentinel on my team every now and then, but like my main teams did not have Sentinel on it.
Yeah, no, that's true. Cable Commando Tron, Mag Cable Tron. Oh, she what's up, Ryan? So
Ryan,
what's your predictions for Evo top 8? Is it going to be all old heads, or are we going to see new blood? I think what's that dude's name that just be wrecking everybody these days? Is it Chaos? Frank?
Is it Roundhouse?
No, I don't think it's Roundhouse. I think it's that Chaos. I think Chaos is the dude that's considered to be the best.
Is it the guy that won Yipes and Desmond's event?
No, that's Roundhouse. He played Storm Sentinel Iron Man. Yeah, he played a really weird team. But I think Chaos would be the one that's probably gonna win. He might win that event, actually, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen him play. I'm not, I don't have a read on that, unfortunately.
Someone from Mexico or South America. Frank might remember this because this is pretty old. But there was that dude, because back when Justin was the best, anybody who was making like rumblings that they could be really, really good, you would hear rumors about them, right? So I think it was Evo 2002 or maybe 2003. But do you remember hearing about White Knight, Frank?
Yep. Nope. As soon as you started talking about it,
White Knight from Puerto Rico. Yeah, everybody was hyping that dude up, man. And
yeah, they were trying to be on some shit.
Yeah, White Knight came out and got wrecked.
He basically did about face and just dipped. He was like, "I'm here, I'm out." And then the boards was just all super hyped. He's like, "No man, he gonna fuck."
Yeah, they were like, "Man, White Knight's gonna be the one to beat Justin," and he just
got decimated.
Wrecked.
He got dismantled like a busted ass Lego set. Woo!
And I felt bad because he was hella nice to me when I was talking to him at that tournament.
Yeah. Who was that dude that I lost to? And he kept calling Super's power.
Oh, you're talking about Mag.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mag was SoCal.
He was getting hyped up too.
So we just gonna be me and the strong tier. I see how it is. Black History Month and everything. What's up, Jay? How you doing? I don't know about this top 8 though at Evo because like you have qualifiers and stuff. It's hard to say like who's even gonna come out for those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't know who's gonna go to what event.
I think Desmond will make it. I think Desmond will be in the top 8. I think
Desmond need to be.
I think Chaos will be in the top 8. If Chunksta shows up, I think he'll be in the top 8.
Oh yeah.
Do you think who else was I thinking about? Maybe Smooth Viper? No, I don't think Smooth Viper. Maybe.
But do you think Sue would come out of? I'm assuming he's not playing, obviously, because I haven't heard.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything with Sue for like a very long time.
But I mean, you have to remember that like it's a $10,000 plus prize pot because they're finding ways to bring more money into it. Do you think that he would come out of retirement to try to scoop that up?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I hope he does, because it'd be cool to see him back.
Do you think that Rowan Company would try to come out to scoop it up? Because it's not winner take all for the 10,000. You know,
I don't think they. Man, I can't see them doing it. You know what I could see them doing though? I could see Ro and Jason going to Evo or going to Vegas the weekend of Evo and not playing but being there.
You know,
I could definitely see them doing that, and then everybody's like, "Oh man, are you here to enter Marvel?" Like, no, man, I'm just here to gamble, and then that's it. That's it.
I fucking hate that I'm agreeing with you on this, but I absolutely feel that. I feel that they will end up going to Evo, and they won't enter the tournament.
Yeah, I can see that. I can hella see that happening.
I can hella see that. Just and that, you know, and maybe it's just because we have a lot of city pride.
No, absolutely.
We have a lot of pride within like Marvel 2 community, because you know, I when they announced that shit, I'm not gonna lie, I would love for a Seattle rep, because we weren't there for the long haul through the, all the way up to like 2000 before Street Fighter 4, right? Because we died off after they removed the cabinets. People started coming back and playing again, but it wasn't like how it was before. But we definitely have like put a stamp on the history of the game. Oh
yeah, Seattle. You can't erase. Seattle has to be a part of the Marvel 2 story. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because we took like Genghis came up here with Sentinel, right? We didn't see people play Sentinel like that, but then we took Sentinel to like the next level. With Short Fly Short, yeah, and then all that shit with the combo video, like for sure.
And then like Ro in that stint too, like I remember he went down to Cali and just ran through them.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they're like, if I remember correctly on the boards, like, nah, he got lucky, or Duck wasn't there. I think that was the big one. Duck wasn't there.
When he first went and beat Shady K, it was Duck wasn't there, yeah.
So then he went back, and now I don't know if this is 100% true or not, but the rumor that I heard is that Ro lost on purpose just so that he can beat more people through losers bracket.
That seems like some Ro shit to do in that era. Because again, Ro got bored. If he was just beating you for free, he would just get bored. It's almost like, you ever see like when a cat catches like a mouse or some shit, and the cat's just like,
start batting that shit?
Yeah, and then he just lets him run away, and then he catches him. That's what Ro used to do in Marvel 2. Like he would get so bored beating you that he would let you come back, and then you would be thinking you'd be coming back, and then he'd just beat you. And then that's how a lot of his matches win. But if he played all out serious, he would just beat your ass and it wouldn't be competitive.
That also brings up one of the best quotes that I've ever heard in Marvel 2 history from that man, which was, he might have even said it to you. He said, "You played that perfectly, and if you were playing anybody else, you would have won." Yeah,
that was against me. Yeah.
that quote still resonates with me. That's just so fucking hard, dude.
Because I was using you remember when I used to play Cable Storm Cyclops?
Yeah.
I almost beat him in that tournament. And I just felt hella bad because I thought I had the answer. Like, I thought I had all the answers. And then, surely enough, he ends up clutching each match out. It's super close, right? I'm trying to run from him and stuff. And then he was like, "Dude, you played perfectly. And if you're playing anybody but me, you would have won." And I was like, that makes me feel like shit. Like you mean you tell me I didn't have you give me this fucking Dr. King ass speech, I just lose? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, get out of here. That didn't make me feel better. I feel like shit. I was like, man. Yeah, that was Ro though, man. That was Ro. And it's funny because when you think about Ro, before I get into solid tier more and the trace tier, is when Ro during Marvel 2, for the first, I don't know, however many months of Marvel 2, he was playing Magstorm Ken. And everybody was like, "Bro, what is this team? This team is dumb as hell. Why are you playing Magstorm Ken?" And I remember I lost a tournament set to that team. And I was playing Spiral. I don't know what happened, but somehow the match came down to Spiral versus Ken, which is one of the weirdest fucking matches. Like, why would anybody know what to do in that match? Yeah, he's just like jumping in the air, hurricane kicking at me, dashing and throwing, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I lost, and Cody and Trin were, on the car ride back to Cody's apartment, was like, "Man, you played with us at Cody's apartment the whole week before this tournament, and you lose to Ro? Like, I would never lose to Ro. Dude, I never lose to Ro." I can say right now I was ahead of the curve when it came to losing the road, because when he decided to put the shit together, everybody was getting their ass beat, and I was sitting here like, I told y'all. You didn't lose the Ken like I did, but I told y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I was ahead of the shit.
I think I beat Ro in a tournament because he's trying to play Colossus against me.
He would do some shit like that.
Yeah, he would.
You beat Nolan, Jate. That's who you beat. I remember that. I saw that going through the tournament results threads that I was looking at, because you placed 7th at that tournament actually. But yeah, no, like Solitaire, yeah. So I got Frank, I got Sean, I got Trace. Oh really? Okay. Oh, this guy, you're playing Grand Blue. This guy. Thank you for stopping by, Barry. Yeah, I do need to come through. I'm down for a Chun Mirror. I just need to like I just need to play you guys, Barry, because you guys help me out a lot actually when I play Street Fighter 5 against you. An online session or an offline session of Street Fighter 5 with you guys would definitely help, so I definitely need to do that soon. So yeah, just let me know when the next one is. I'm gonna be in the middle of a move this month, so I don't know if I'll be able to make it anytime soon, but please keep me in your thoughts and consideration, because I'm trying to play y'all, and that's for real. That's real. Where is Stiltman? So
He on this list, I can tell you that right
now.
now.
If it was a Northwest tier list, I'd probably have Stiltman in the solid tier, because that man did not want to evolve with the game. He was solely about trap teams and just didn't want to evolve. He was the I don't know if I can come up with a sports analogy for who Stiltman is in the scene, but what the hell? Campbell went to John's? Man, see Barry, you make me feel bad for breaking John's heart, man. I ain't trying to do that to Prince Noctis. I'll make a concerted effort to show up to the next one, so please invite me again. But yeah, no, thank you for coming out, Barry, or for stopping by. Oh shoot, what's up, Xena? How you doing? But yeah, Stiltman would be solid tier if I expanded this to Northwest and not just Seattle. Cause he was, you know what it was? People beat themselves against Stiltman. He didn't necessarily beat people. Like Terrence, huh? Terrence on this list. Terrence would be Trace tier, honestly, because he didn't attend nothing, and
well, I mean that's why he's not on the list.
Yeah, he didn't attend anything, but if he did, he would be Trace tier with Andre. And do you remember Gene Juarez guy, Frank?
How can I forget?
Road Cable Amingo, yeah, him. Mm-hmm. How'd You Got Me guy from UW. Albert, Ruby Heart Ryu Juggernaut. Yeah, Terrence would be down there with those guys. If he attended anything. Oh yeah, no, he according to Terrence, yes. Tacoma was better than Seattle, and
you know what? I can tell you right now, that's not true. One, that's not true. Two, I don't know where the fuck this man came from, because he was never at the arcade over there when I was there. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I don't like when
I ain't never seen Terrence at the arcade when we were playing Marvel 2 when it was that shit.
Yeah, you know, actually, now that I think about it, when I used to go to Tacoma to play, I never saw him there.
I ain't seen him there, and if he was sitting in the back. He wasn't on no sticks.
Yeah, no.
I'll tell you that right now.
That's true.
I'm gonna break it down to you like this, because we definitely were on our high horse, and I found out Shoryuken and all. I was causing the ruckus and talking shit. And all
yeah, we were talking hella shit on Shoryuken when we first.
We talked
hella shit about Rat for no reason, just because he was the best.
Just because he was the best, we were like, he ain't playing me, dude.
We're like, hey man, fuck this dude. He don't know what's up. Blah 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 blah.
And then we went and got our
asses whooped. Yes, but it made us want to get better though.
Yeah, it made us want to get better, and you know, and then Ryan was there. It's called like whatever.
Yeah, Ryan was a good sport about all the shit talking. That was that too.
You lucky you a mod, Tay, because I'll go delete that comment. I'm gonna time you out.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of us did talk shit, but me and Frank and like
we were talking
Super
shit.
Joe and like everybody from that era. We came in. We pretty much registered accounts on Shoryuken.com just to talk shit about Rat, just because he was the #1 person. Like, oh man, he's lucky that we don't go to tournaments.
Yeah, he's lucky we can't make it up there.
we made this shit talk thread called like, wasn't it called Ratana? Wasn't that what the thread was called? We were just talking hella shit about him for no reason, but then for some reason the thread like blew up to be other topics. It's like it evolved to like some random shit. Oh yeah, Blaze and Flow. I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
He was a Mix-Up's homeboy for like a brief period of time before they had whatever happened. Oh man, but yeah, Frank, back to this. You said I was missing 3 people. Who was I missing?
Okay, so you got Lee.
Lee, but he's not. He was Silverdale.
Oh, you only do in Seattle?
Mm-hmm. Seattle only, yeah.
Okay.
That's why the list is as small as it is, right? Because I don't have like the surrounding areas. Trust me, I was thinking pretty hard on this.
Lee's brother, Francis.
Yeah. Francis was
Sherwin.
Silverdale. Sherwin was Silverdale.
So okay, then never mind. Those are my 3 that I was talking about.
Because then if I include them, I gotta include E-Boy. You remember Cyclops Grasses? I gotta include. Yeah, the list gets much bigger.
Yeah. That name is
oh, we got Nick Train. Okay.
Yeah, that's Nick Train. Yeah, but no, the list gets bigger and more complicated if you add more areas to it, right? Because then the strong tier gets slightly bigger.
Yeah, you probably bring
solid tier definitely gets bigger. Because then you gotta include like Maverick, right? You gotta include that dude that played Jill that beat Trace that one time. Then you gotta include like Asquatch or like Sage.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of people you gotta throw in like if you add other areas, right?
I think that's the crazy thing too. Is like I forgot how big our community was.
The community was big as hell.
It was really big.
When you look at like the other areas that came to, like when Portland would show up, when Olympia would show up, when Kennewick would show up, when BC would show up, it would be like a really big like thing.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Spider Town. Yep.
Like I think about like someone like Nolan, right? I think, in my opinion, Nolan got second at one of the most important tournaments ever, and that was when Genghis came to Seattle. Nolan got second at that tournament.
Was that when Genghis and Jaha were up here?
Yep.
See, I remember Jaha playing that boxing game in here.
Oh, dude, shoot. What's up, Chris? Yeah, I'm about to get on in probably like another like 5 minutes, actually. I got my PS4 on right now. Yeah, we can run Street Fighter 5 sets in like the next couple minutes.
I wish you weren't some Marvel right now. I'm telling you that right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I knew I was gonna get sad, like making this tier list and then not playing Marvel 2 after it. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a way to play it. Otherwise, I would play, But then again, how else would I? Well, I guess they got the 360, but
do you still have a 360?
I don't have a 360 stick though.
Or Xbox Live.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, I don't have that either.
I wonder if you could. Oh, see, it sucks that like you just can't get it. Because I wonder if you could play it on PC now. Because like Xbox Live and all that integrated shit.
I don't think so.
You can't do that. You can download there's emulators that can run it.
Yeah, but that's not good though.
Come on, Disney, stop being fucking weak.
Yeah, my hope is that they know that they're having this event, right? See, this is probably too good to be true, but my hope is that they're gonna have this event, right? Capcom is gonna announce, oh, we got Marvel 4 coming next year, right? But in the meantime, we re-released Marvel 2 on PS4, Steam, and Xbox One, and you can play that shit online right now. That's
right now.
That's my hope for Evo this year.
If they have it on Steam, I'm fucking getting it.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting it on both. I don't look. I don't even really care about a new Marvel. I just want Marvel 2 on shit that I can play right now. I want that on Steam and PS4. If I can get that, I won't even have to play Marvel 4 or whatever they're making. If they're making anything.
I want it on the Switch so I can just take it with me.
Like I'll straight up play that shit. You know what I mean?
I do think that there's a possibility of a versus game. That I don't know if it's gonna be a Marvel game, but like I feel like they're gonna try to do a versus game, and I feel like that is the answer. They need to make a versus game, and my hope against hope, my Hail Mary right here is gonna be they're gonna do a versus game. and they're actually going to go back to like this pixel art and this kind of like 2D looking style.
I can see them outsourcing that to someone else.
That's too expensive.
You think so? You don't think they can just pull their... They have so many sprite assets though, like already. I don't give a shit if they reuse every single thing that they have.
They just need to link up the Arc System where it's gonna be like, look, we just want you to draw the art for this game. We don't want you to do nothing else.
Kiss my ass.
Well, other people make the money, and one person isn't. It's too much money.
Nah, gameplay over graphics, dog, 100%. Look, if it plays good, if it got some fair, you know, like let me roll when I hit it, get knocked down. You know what I'm saying? No one hit. Let me have to guess or reset instead of just being like I got hit by fucking.
As long as they don't have no stupid ass like, I mean they're gonna have it. But as long as they don't have stuff like X Factor or like some diamond explosion mechanic where it's like your comeback shit, like just let somebody lose, right? Like, look.
I think all three of us can agree.
If you get your ass beat, you get your ass beat. That's just what it is. You just gotta hold that.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that all three of us have the same wants in a Marvel or versus.
Look, but here's the deal, right? Don't let me fuck around and win the lottery or some shit, because I'll buy a real Marvel 2 cabinet to go in my bachelor pad, and then y'all be over at my house playing. How about that?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, once my move is over, I'll have access to my Dreamcast again, but I won't have a stick. That's the other problem.
But you gonna get that thing, right? I actually probably gonna try to get that too.
I need to figure out. I need to look into that more. I don't know how that works.
What thing?
The what's the name of that company? Brook. They have a Brook PS3, PS4 to Dreamcast converter.
Oh yeah, that's what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about the SD card thing.
No, that's also an option too.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to pick up a couple of those for the tournament in May.
Where are you gonna pick them up at?
The Arcade Shock or whoever was carrying. I don't remember who it was.
Listen, you tell me when you about to pop that thing.
I'm about to I'm gonna switch over to Street Fighter 5 to run some matches. But Frank, before I do that, do you have any last words you like to say about this tier list? Like any final thoughts you want to say about this shit right here?
I actually agree with what you have here, 100%. Like, it's very accurate. It's very on point. All your reasons are justified, like hands down. And actually, I actually agree with a lot of the stuff that you brought to the table. So, I will say that it was really good to talk about Marvel 2. Like,
no, absolutely.
Back in the day. And like, you know, I got a little caught up. I was talking about Issaria, and like, I was catching feels because I really do miss that dude.
Oh, we all do. We all do.
I miss all these dudes, man. I miss all these people. Marvel 2 for myself and for Mandel. Surprisingly, it's such a big impact in our lives. Like,
yep, that's how we met.
We met through Marvel 2. We met through it. No, Jite. First of all, no. That's
he said Fox.
I don't see Quan in that equation, so you can go somewhere with that. But no, like goodness. Marvel 2 connected us with all these people. Like, for the most part, I would say like 95% of the people that are on this tier list were either like friends or really good friends or best friends at one point. And it's a huge piece of history. I mean, like, I'm on social media popping off about the fact that we have this invitational tournament, and I am super excited about it. And like, I've even gone into like speedrun discords and be like, oh my god, Marvel 2, you know, like, because they don't know about that part of me. And so the fact that I get to do that, to get to talk about it, I just love it. And it also, it's reminding me like how much I love that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've spent a long time not playing it, you know what I mean? So we kind of forgot, or we lost track of how great of a game it was.
Yeah.
Especially with all the memories it's caused for us too. Like, that was the other thing.
Yeah, that too.
That game did a lot. Like, I could say for sure. Oh, you said if I beat Frank first and 10 in Marvel, do I get to demote him to Trace tier?
Hell no. You might actually beat me though.
Oh man, hey, if you come up here so I'm gonna be moving soon, Jite. So I can't have you stay with me, unfortunately. But if you come up here for, what is Ryan's event called? Fight Kingdom. If you come up here for Fight Kingdom, you gotta play Frank first 10 in Marvel 2. We gotta do that for the culture. We have to. We got to.
Where is this? Here we go.
We gotta have this. I gotta see this. I don't.
Well, look, let me set you up right quick because I'm about to do this right here for everybody that is in chat right now. Since we talk about Marvel 2, we actually have a quote-unquote retro tournament coming up in May, and it has Marvel 2 there. Let me run down this list real quick. We got Super Turbo, Third Strike, Marvel 2, Vampire Savior, because I know you all love that.
Yeah.
And the High Roller Mystery Tournament. All these are going to be available. This is going to be on May 2nd of 2020. The link is right there to register. You know what? I haven't registered yet, but I'm going to register right now.
And the thing too, as well, is that you can register and pay at the door. So I'm gonna put that out there right now. I was told that yesterday because I am experiencing some financial hardships. Neither here nor there, but I'm going to register as well.
Hey, listen, if you have it in you, at least throw some subs. You know, if you might be coming up on the Twitch fame soon, you know what I'm saying?
I'm about to stream myself playing Marvel 2 right now.
Oh, okay.
Y'all talking about it.
But yeah, I'm gonna register for Marvel.
I'm about to watch you.
I think I'm gonna register for Marvel in the mystery game tournament because I need to dethrone Heavy D.
What's up, you guys?
What's up, KK? How you doing?
What's up, KK?
I just woke up.
I need to dethrone Heavy D. You know, he's been winning too much money lately.
Yeah,
and that's my friend, my brother, but he needs some competition. We can't just have it easy in life. You know what I mean? I gotta put my hat into it. You know what I mean?
Mandel, how many High Roller Mystery tournaments have you actually entered?
None, but he's about to feel my wrath though. He's about.
And you know that's probably why he's
gonna feel my wrath.
I gotta get that money. You know what I mean? I saw Heavy D with all those racks when he won that Northwest Majors tournament. So I was like, man, I want to be down.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if I win that, I'm gonna. If KK's down, I would. You remember the deal that we had with the Powerball thing, where you just throw
throw money in your face?
Yeah. If I were to win that, I'd let you do that. I would just be like, I like to just skip breaking these winnings to KK, and then you just throw that shit in my face. But make sure you don't like throw it too hard, because one, I don't want to break my nose or anything. Two, I'm not trying to have that money go all over the place. you know somebody gonna run around trying to grab that. Just take.
I'm still trying to figure out who is actually really trying to play CVS 2 so I can actually run this thing.
Oh, don't say that, Nick. Don't say that, Nick. Don't say that, Nick. Because I will enter CVS 2, Nick. Don't say that.
CVS 2 also.
Don't say that, Nick.
I mean, I know you guys would, but that's Ian like 3 people.
I bet you Peachy would enter.
Listen, me, Mandel, Ian, Peachy, Chris.
I bet you we could get King.
Ricky Ortiz come out. Justin will play it if he's gonna be up here.
All right, I'll go ahead and switch to Street Fighter 5. But yeah, this was my tier list. I will be uploading this on YouTube so y'all can look. I'll timestamp it so you can hear my explanations as well. Because you know we kind of went in, but I gotta thank Frank for assisting me with this tier list, adding some much needed history in the mix. You know.
Some of the names are pretty good, man. Like that guy from UW, that's a pretty good.
Yeah, how'd you got me? Yeah.
How'd you got me?
How'd you got me? What I'm doing?
Yep. How'd you got me? What I'm doing? What about the dude from Highline?
Oh, Balana? Oh, I should have added him. Yeah, I'm adding Balana. I'm glad you mentioned that. God damn it.
Was Sam No ever playing during that time?
So it's funny. Someone brought that up to me. So I think someone mentioned Sam No and Heavy D, but I don't remember them entering any tournaments. To be honest with you,
well, they're 09 heads, right?
Yeah, I don't remember them entering tournaments when we were really active.
No, Heavy D was around, but he was hanging out with like Pablo and Doughboy and all those guys.
Yeah, I don't.
Also, there's something we need to do because I mentioned Doughboy. Doughboy was like one of the reasons why we got tournaments to like have that resurgence at Zach's house.
Yeah, he was running a lot of those tournaments, and which is funny because I have Kenny listed on here, and somehow due to Keith's seeding system, Kenny played Row first round in like 4 tournaments in a row or something crazy like that. And Kenny was so mad.
That's right. That's what I remember. I had that match about we were playing on the Michael Jackson things.
That's why Kenny kept calling him Asian Kathy Bates.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so.
Yeah, because he kept making Kenny play Row, and he's like, "How the fuck?"
Yeah, he's like, funny. How do I keep playing? Shout out to Kenny.
But yeah, I'm gonna switch on over. Thank y'all for checking out the tier list. I'm gonna switch to Street Fighter 5 real quick, play some matches on here, and I'm gonna get on this Paris ID maybe like an hour or something like that.